Wednesday is not too far away, and that means one thing. We're racing at Happy Valley. Welcome to Racing to Win. Have it previewed for you all right here. It's French night at the Valley this week with 9 races and a slightly earlier start time too. We'll show you that graphic very, very soon. Paul Lally, Tom would join us. And Tom, what are some of the highlights for French evening? Yeah, there's plenty of good racing coming up. Mark, races 8 and 9, the races we're previewing here on the show. And race 8 is a Class 3. It's got the likes of in it Highland Rahis, who've been in good form. Win Beauty Viva comes out of Australia, and he won a race at Moe. And then you've got in the last race Chateau Neuf, another newcomer called Wolf coming. Fatal Blow, King Miles in good form. Jolly Ruler a last start winner, so a few of the highlights at the back end. There's quite a few last start winners in that last race, a number of them down in Grade 2. They come up into Class 3. Paul Lally here also. Are there jackpots?
There are. There's 3 million going into the 6-up win bonus. That should get up to the 8 million mark. And also $1 million going to the Quartet First 4 merge pool in the last race as well. So something to have your wine and cheese with.
Absolutely. So what you did there. We're going back to the weekend now at Sha Tin for the main lead-up race, Paul, for the Champions and Chater. It is the Queen Mother Memorial. Just a field of 6. Tony Cruz was well represented here, but it was the 4-year-olds. Bundle Award sat back in what just became a dash up the Sha Tin straight.
Yeah, really quick last 400 here. They walked it. They were 2 seconds out, roundabout outside standard, and the horse with the best sprint won it, and that was the 4-year-old. Bundle Award down the outside, showed a really good turn of foot. And as such, that was the winning of the race, basically, for me.
It was. He's obviously sort of presented himself now as a pretty promising stag going forward to Bundle Award. Just a 4-year-old, 21.67 for his last 400 metres. So it was a sit and sprint, but that's low flying the last bit.
It is. It was way inside standard, that last section. Tom, you spoke to John Size after the race. He was non-committal either way about going to the Champions and Chater.
Yeah, I guess it just depends how he's pulled up and whatnot. So that's what John was suggesting with him after the win the other day. John's first win for, I think, 19 or 20 years in the race. But I'd be surprised if they didn't go and have a look at the Champions and Chater at the end of the month, Paul, because he's beaten some of the local chances there. Obviously, sounds like Forge Bubbles heading there, and we don't know the shakedown of the overseas horses yet, but from the local side, what he beat on Sunday, it's probably not going to be too much harder.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. So as long as everything's good, he's come out of the race well, I'm sure he's going to head that way.
We'll find out in due course who does indeed head to the Champions and Chater. We know who's heading to Happy Valley on Wednesday night because the fields are out for meeting number 69. It's on the A course, and there is that earlier start time, 6:35. The two that we're going to focus on, races 8 and 9, the 2 Class 3s, 1:16.51 over the 1,200 metres. Race number 8, M Unicorn is a 5-time course and distance winner with a £7 claim. Legendary Years comes to Happy Valley for the first race night appearance. He did trial here in January. Manfred Mann has put the blinkers on Legendary Years. Wider draw for Absolute Honour. Charity Together has a tongue tie going on. Highland Rahis in Hong Kong career best form. Win Beauty Viva, a first starter, was a lining star before arriving for Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. Won over the 1,600 metres at Moe. Casa Rochester comes up in grade as a winner. Quantum Patch comes up in grade as a narrow second to Casa Rochester. And we've got Fortunate Son down towards the bottom, Paul, and Highland Rahi's been leading and racing well doing that.
Yeah, he's going to go forward and he should lead again. Samarkand's the other one that likes to go forward. Fortunate Son went forward last time and ran a placing. Lucky Touch has been drawing wide. He's got a good draw now. I think he'll just sit him behind the leader. He goes forward. When he did win his race, he was in a really good position. Quantum Patch, Casa Rochester was the last start winner. Charity Together and Win Beauty Viva, the first starter, has been going back in all his trials.
Tom's our man with the interviews today, and he spoke to the rider of the last start place getter. It's Harry Bentley. He's on board Fortunate Son.
Harry, Fortunate Son, a horse for Douglas White, who'd shown a good amount of ability in his first few runs here and then sort of come a cropper in his next few, but he was better last start at Happy Valley with you aboard. How did you rate the run?
Well, I thought it was a great run. You know, he travelled nicely throughout, and I was in a lovely position, and I had the decision to either stay on the rail or come out up the straight, and I decided to come out, but in hindsight, it might have been better just to stay in. You know, he went through the line really well and stayed out the trip nicely.
Do you think there was a chance he might have been able to nab second if you had gone to the inside earlier?
Yeah, I think he probably would have done. I just slightly halted momentum. And as I say, once that gap opened, he picked up nicely and hit the line strong. So, yeah, I would expect him to have gone that little bit closer.
He was returning to Happy Valley for the first time since his debut. Do you think there was anything in returning to Happy Valley that sparked that level of confidence in him again?
Perhaps. You know, I think the trip was perfect for him, and you know, that day it just went nice and smooth. So we hope for much the same again on Wednesday, and I think if he can get the right conditions in the race, then he's going to run another big race.
Looks like there should be good tempo in the race. From barrier 6, you might probably get a similar sort of run to last start.
Yeah, I imagine so, and a good pace will help him. He's not a horse that's, you know, over racing, I would say, but a good gallop will just help him relax and get home.
Your own record at Happy Valley, I think you've had 12 winners there this season. What about Happy Valley that sparks the confidence in your level of riding?
Yeah, well, I enjoy riding the track. Obviously, it's a tricky place, and yeah, plenty of aspects to have to navigate. But you know, I enjoy riding there, and it's good to see my record's quite strong. So yeah, I hope that the opportunities I get, I can make the most of.
And quickly, speaking of strong, the weekend Honglock Golf. Gee, looks like a little terrier. Looks like he's never beaten, is he? He's not. I mean, he is gutsy personified. You know, he just loves to get into a battle, and when a horse comes up and eyeballs him, he just digs deep and finds that bit more. So we don't know where his ceiling is yet, which is a nice thing to have on our hands, and hopefully just keeps improving.
There he is, Harry Bentley. Tom, you spoke to him and you referenced in that interview Harry's record at Happy Valley. Here's the confirmation of those stats.
Yeah, 12 wins, 23 placings from 130 rides and 26.9 top 3 rates there. So been kicking a few goals. A little bit down in terms of win tally on where he was sort of this time last season. Harry with just the 23, but a solid showing certainly, Paul, at the Valley.
Yeah, look, he's really established himself well here, hasn't he, Harry? And he's got some good rides there with Serangoon's a good chance. Telecom Power as well. He's another one that's got a good chance coming up. Fortunate Son we heard from. And Wolf Cumming is a debutant.
He's had 3 or 4 trials, has Wolf Cumming ahead of his Hong Kong debut in the last race, which we'll focus on after the break. Paul, we start though with our first replay. It's Casa Rochester and Quantum Patch. They're both in similar positions. There's not much of Casa Rochester, but he grinds out a win here. Quantum Patch has had an 800-metre trial since this. Yeah,
look, they went really quick in this race, so it really suited these horses coming from the back. So, as such, Casa Rochester, he got that perfect run through, and he ran away with the win. And Quantum Patch wasn't too far away from him. So, of the two, I thought Quantum Patch's run was probably slightly better.
Yeah, it was a good run from him, but I think still Casa Rochester gets a good chance here. You go back a few runs at his form line. He had form behind Johannes Brahms, where he was only beaten 2 3/4. I don't think he's necessarily one to dismiss in this grade.
He comes back up in class, does Casa Rochester, as does Quantum Patch. M Unicorn doesn't, Tom. Semacan 9th, and here is Quantum Patch again. He's obviously had the start since this race. M Unicorn, a winner 2 starts ago, and then just had to do some work this night.
Yeah, it was disappointing last time out. Covered some ground. He was keen, was allowed to stride forward, and then got caught wide without a great deal of cover. They have gone for the apprentice claim, and he has sort of struggled with the bigger weights. He's won with 130, but he's never won with these bigger weights. So they've opted for the apprentice claim here, and he's trolled up okay, I thought.
Yeah, the troll was fine. There was nothing wrong with the troll. So the claim's definitely going to help him.
Yeah, that was the win 2 starts ago. He's done some work in the race following that, so that's what he can do. M Unicorn. Keefe, Paul. He hasn't done a whole lot. In fact, he's done nothing at Happy Valley. All of his form has been at Sha Tin. He's a hard horse to catch. Actually won pretty well in this trial up at Chung Fa, and he beats Top Gun. Yeah, look, the trial was good, but he's, as you've just referenced, he is very, very hard to catch. His last one was off 80. He's down to a 71 rating now, so he's capable, but look, from barrier 9, I was happy to watch him.
You look at those wins and those placings, the majority came on early in his career when he actually had a consistent sort of profile, but he's far from that at the moment.
Yeah, he's all over the place, is Keefe. 1 win from 10 starts last campaign, no wins from 10 this campaign so far. Win Beauty Viva. Tom, he's a newcomer. He's with John Size. Ben Thompson takes the ride. He's had the 4 trials. This one going back to the 2nd of May, so not too long ago. No,
last week, Zach Purton was on board for this trial here. Karis Teaton was on board for the prior couple of trials. He was known as Aligning Stars when trained by Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. Obviously had some good track form at Ballarat and Moe, and he sat 2nd in that last race and won going away. Happy to watch, though, from barrier 11, though, first up, Paul.
Yep, agree totally. I've left him alone.
We'll leave him alone then and move straight on then from that trial. Paul, to your selections, please.
I'm going to go with Lucky Touch, actually, on top here. Look, the horse has been drawing wide, and his win did come over the course and distance. I thought he maps really well with Zach Purton aboard, and he can win. Fortunate Son, we heard from Harry Bentley there. I think he was a little bit unlucky not to finish a little bit closer at his last start. Quantum Patch and then Highland Rahi will try and lead all the way. 10, 12, 11, 7.
Going to stick here with Casa Rochester, who's going so well at the moment for Mark Newnham. He had been building to that win. He's got the inside draw, got up in the nick of time last start, had a good battle with the Quantum Patch, and I think he's good enough to win here up in grade once again, having his 4th start. Lucky Touch goes in, probably the one to beat on all known form, but that win did come off 51, and he's been gradually climbing the ratings again with all those placings without winning. Highland Rahi's in, and the other one I've got in certainly is Quantum Patch. But it's been a while since he's tasted success. He's got a 4-pound turnaround on Casa Rochester for that narrow defeat last start. 9, 10, 7 and 11.
And that has been the preview for race number 8. We started the show with the Queen Mother Memorial, which is the main lead-up race to the last Group 1 of the season, the Champions and Chaser. It's a Happy Valley focused racing to win today as we're walking back from the break, and it's straight off the break, Paul, into your last run reminder. And looking at that graphic there, 2,200 metres. It's obviously from Happy Valley last time.
Yeah, it is, and it's a John size runner. John doesn't have many of these lower class runners, especially over this distance, and he's got one here in perfect pairing. He got well back in the race, as you can see, right back on the inside there. And they went really slow in this race, so they were slower than standard, especially for that first 1,400 metres. Coming into the straight, he was still well back. He came back to the inside, and look, he's obviously a real star because you can see him picking up towards the end, and his best work was late. So if he can be a little bit closer, which I think he can be in the run here, I think he can get his opportunity. And all the winners were coming down the middle of the track, and he was against the inside and stayed on nicely for second.
And he opposes a good number of those horses again on Wednesday. So race 3, number 11, perfect pairing, is the last run reminder. On to the last race now. It's a Class 3 over the 1,200 metres. Superb Capitalist is on the class drop. Fast Responder goes up in trip. Beauty Infinity is a 3-time course and distance winner. Good draw for Chateau Neuf. Wolf Cummings had the 3 trials. He comes here out of the Andrew Balding stable, one over the 1,200 at Chester and also at Goodwood. Lucky Planet shooting for 3 in a row. Wave Garden has the tongue tie on. King Miles, 3rd look around the valley. And Jolly Ruler, another last start winner, but he's coming up in grade. He's won twice over the 1,200 around the valley, Paul, and it's Lucky Planet to the front.
He went straight to the front last time. He's won his last 2 leading with setting up some pretty quick sectionals. Super Joy and Fun led last time, but I think Lucky Planet will cross him. Fatal Blow was right on the pace last time. Superb Capitalist likes to go forward as well. Wave Gardens had 2 starts here. He's led them both, which should set up to a good to fast pace, I thought. Chateau Neuf should get the race run to suit, as will the back horses, and King Miles, one of the likely favourites. He should get the race run to suit as well.
Interview time ahead of race number 9. Tom is back talking to the rider of Chateau Neuf. It's Luke Ferraris.
Luke, Chateau Neuf for David Hayes. Fair to say, looked like he put up his usual honest performance last start.
Yeah, it was a good run. Wasn't really the plan to go to the front, but he left the gates really well, and there was a lack of speed in the race. Now he's got the better draw, and we'll definitely use that to our advantage.
He got a bit of pressure in those early stages from Nucleus, or I think King Miles. That just softened him up a little bit through those early stages.
Yeah, you're right. So it was a better run than it looked. He seems to have come through it well. He's been working well in the morning, and yeah, really happy with him.
with it not really where you wanted to be the other night, there looks to be a lot of pace in the race Wednesday night, so that means you can just probably be behind them. Is that right?
Yeah, that'll suit us. Like we said, we got the one draw, and the pace in the race should help us. So if he can get a nice run in transit and the gaps open at the right time, you know, hopefully he can reproduce.
Win 37 over the weekend. David Eustace with the dazzling fit. He looks a nice horse going forward to next season.
He is. Plenty of ability. He's still doing a lot of things wrong in his races, so I think just with more racing that he'll get in him, you know, it'll do him good, and hopefully the natural improvement will keep coming.
Nice to do it with the family round as well.
Yeah, always special to have them on course, and lovely to have the winning picture with them.
There he is with dazzling fit. So doing the Ferraris name, a proud still. Paul, what about Chateau Neuf and King Miles, who we saw in that replay too?
I think they can Quinella this race. The way the race is going to be set up, it's going to really suit both these two horses. So I can see them both fighting at the finish.
Yeah, 100% agree. King Miles, obviously, interesting. Zach getting down to potentially 180, might put 2 up over here on King Miles, but loomed up with Crimson Flash last start, just couldn't quite go with him. But I think a good point in that Zach's trying to do a lightweight here.
We move on to Tom 2, Super Joy and Fun, who runs second here. He's just mixing his form a little bit. He's been backed a couple of times too. This is 2 starts ago. He's since finished down the track behind Golden Empire.
He has won this season. He's had a handful of other minor placings as well from his 9 starts. Went forward, led up, of course, last time out, and then tied sort of the last 200 metres. They have led with him in the past. I'm not necessarily thinking that'll be the case here, Paul, but he's another one that looked really progressive but has sort of been a bit hot and cold.
He has a bit, and some of his best runs have been when he's fresh as well. He's won fresh up both seasons, and he's sort of gone off the boil a little bit. With all his pace in the race, I was happy to watch him.
He's not going in. What about Beauty Infinity, Paul? He's going to be ridden by Brenton Avdella, barrier number 3, a winner 3 starts ago. This is a 5th last time behind an informed Power Kep.
Yeah, look, I'm going to put him in on a minor line, Beauty Infinity, just from that draw and the way the race is going to be run. I think it could be run to suit him. Look, the last 2 runs have just been okay, but the win was strong 3 starts here.
He drops a pound on his last start if it's still off that rating of 71. He's been consistent enough, and he was right there to challenge over the final stages, but just looked to peak a little late on there.
Now the Class 4 winners, Tom, we've got 3 of them to look at. We start with Jolly Ruler. The 1200 metres won't be a problem. He gets in here on the back of this win. He's now won a couple of times course and distance. Once in this grade, what are his chances this week?
Yeah, well, I don't think this grade's going to be any concern for him at all. He's a 2-time course and distance winner. He's won off 62. He's also won off 66, and sort of similar draw to what he had last time, Paul. He sat wide, but still had the audacity to front up and win pretty softly at the line.
Yeah, it was a really nice win, and the grade's not a problem. The little concern I had was he seems to win 1 race a season, and he hasn't put 2 together.
Spacing an issue for Jolly Ruler, perhaps. Fatal Blow, Paul. This was his first run back for quite some time. He's always shown ability, certainly early in his career. Then he plateaued a bit, bounced back with a win over Glory B. Cops a wide draw, but races well second up. Yeah, he's 1 for 1 second up as well. So look, he'll go in on a minor line as well. The concern again with him is the wide draw and the pace in the race.
That's why I left him out in the end. I know he's got a good second up record, but barrier number 11 was the concern. He's failed from a wide draw in the past when beaten by Sight Happy, beaten 5 lengths there. If he had drawn a better gate, he would have been in, but I'm sort of staying clear from that draw. This horse, Tom, Lucky Planets, won his last 2, including a 4-length thrashing of Mega Bonus last time. He comes into Class 3 for the first time, draws barrier number 7. Can this continue, or has he climbed the mountain now, do you think? Well, I'd want to see him front up in this grade, I think, first before entertaining him. That's the big question mark here. He jumped fast, led, was able to kick away. Goko wins running around later on, earlier on the night. I just wonder if he's sort of bullied them the last couple, I don't think he can do that here.
No, that's the thing. There's a lot more pace in this race, so that's a little concern. First time into the grade. He's a 3-time winner. He's had 22 starts. So, look, he's in career best form. There's no question. It's just whether he can, as Tom said, bully them from the front, and I don't think he can. OK, so that's Lucky Planet, word of caution on him. Who do you like in the last, Paul? The way the race is going to be run to suit, It's going to be these two, Mike Quinella, I think, King Miles and Chateau Neuf. Chateau Neuf can get a really good run from barrier 1, 3 back on the inside. King Miles can go back, let the race unfold. So we went with King Miles in front of Chateau Neuf. Fatal Blow, if the field does spread out, that'll give him the chance to slot in. And then Beauty Infinity, 10-4-9-3.
Very similar sort of numbers. We just differ with the third place runner there, but I think King Miles can strike in the last four. Zach Purton and Francis Lloyd gets a good opportunity here with the pace in the race. So too does Chateau Neuf, who went forward, I think can just sit off them this time around. He's another one that's slightly higher in the ratings due to being so consistent. His last one came off 61. Jolly Ruler makes it in. I'm prepared to stick him in here with that record in the grade where he's won off 62 and 66, and there's certainly been money for him over his last few starts now. Don't want to leave him out the way he won. And then in for fourth is Beauty Infinity, who had that nice run, just looked to peak late last start, a winner 3 runs ago. That was in the grade course and distance. 10-4, 12 and 3.
We have seen races 8 and 9 on the show today. All of the races, though, they're previewed on the website. In fact, the website, it's got everything, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for that race-by-race analysis. The end of the show is heading our way, Paul. As we get to the back part of the show, what's your best bet?
I'm going to go with Lucky Touch. I just think he's going to get a really good run from barrier number 3, right in behind the pace. And that's been the thing. He's just had too much to do from wide draws. So we're making the best. Race 8, number 10, mount there for Zach Purton. You can see his consistency there. Now, the value we're going to do race 7, number 10, which is Chill Master. This horse was 150 to 1 last start. In fact, he's been over 100 to 1 in all, or close to, in all 4 starts. That's him in the green colours. Now, this is over 1,200 metres. He steps up to 1,650 for the first time. And I really like the way that he finished off here. He's had 4 runs to get him ready for that 1,650. He should be a big price, and hopefully, as such, we can get some money there. And race 6, the QQP, Oreo, Lovers in the Air, and Telecom Power and the QQP.
Best comes up in the last with King Miles, Francis Lloyd and Zach Purton trying to win it to Happy Valley. He's a 3-time winner from his 16 starts. He's the best. Valley will be a big price as well. Brave of Friends. Now, he's had 8 starts. He's pretty much done nothing in those 8 starts, but he is a son of So You Think, and he is stepping to 1,650 for the first time off this run here behind Winning Heart in Class 5 over 1,200 metres. He's got barrier 11, so he'll be going back, relying on some pace, but thought he wasn't too bad here at the end, so I thought maybe up to 1,650 it could spark some interest there. And Chateau Neuf, King Miles, Jolly Ruler, the play in the last.
Going as the best bet, a noted 2,200 metre horse, Serangoon. He comes out of a race where he's going to face plenty of the same opposition, but barrier 5's a better draw for him. 2-time winner from 27 starts. Tony Cruz horses have been racing well, certainly around Happy Valley, so we'll make him the best. The value, race 6, number 11, Always My Folks. He was good about 4 or 5 starts ago, hasn't been quite as effective, but he's coming across from 1,400 metre racing at Shard 10 back to 1,200 metre racing at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. And the play, QQP, Serangoon Management Folks, who was very dominant last time in Harker Radiance, 3-8-10 in race number 3. That is just about the end of Racing to Win for today's show, but we do need to check the diary about what is upcoming after French night. Saturday racing this weekend with the Hong Kong Riding for the Disabled Association 50th Anniversary Cup, and then back to Happy Valley on the 14th of May. Thomas, we're fast making our way towards the end of the season.
We're up to, I think, meeting number 69 on Wednesday night at Happy Valley, and we've got some good racing coming up the weekend. Paul, the return of Wunderbar, who's back, taking on Tomodachi Kokodo, bottom up together, Invincible Shield, and in that race as well as Fast Network.
What a race that's going to be with those ones. They're all good up-and-coming horses. Other horses throughout the card, Aaron, which was a impressive last start winner as well. So he's going there, and there's also some all-weather racing there as well.
So plenty on Saturday. There'll be some simulcast racing on Sunday too if you are in Hong Kong. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you to you as well. That has been Racing to Win for Happy Valley on Wednesday night and the first of the 9, slightly earlier, 6:35.